Andreas was serving San Andreas from Blaine County to Los Santos City, with around-the-clock updates of what's happening in your neighborhood and regular crime reports, providing exclusive political content and live-action entertainment. We are Weazel News. Hi, it's Mike Walters with Weazel News. Tonight we have an exclusive interview, a one-on-one sit-down with the candidate for governor, Marco Deconto. Starting from the top here, what inspired you to run for governor, and what do you hope to achieve if you are elected?
Well, the reason I decided to put my hat in the ring is, just basic. I grew up in the city. I've seen what it is capable of, and I've also seen what it's become. The current leadership at the moment is it's not the best. It doesn't take into account the everyday hardworking citizen who's just trying to make a better life for themselves in the city. I come from two parents who are immigrants from Italy, and we lived out here, not too far from here either, in Del Perro. And I've seen the struggles of the everyday citizen. And I believe the current leadership, the current governor, he does not care. The taxes, the violent crime. It's just people are scared. People are scared to go out and live their everyday life. So I want to change that. I want this city to be a welcoming place again. So again, back to your question, what I hope to achieve? I hope to achieve, a safe city. I want the city to be somewhere where people can move to. They can come, they can work, they can live their best life. I want citizens not to be afraid to go outside, and walk the streets at night. Because, we have wonderful weather. We have wonderful weather here. I don't want them to be scared of going outside and, possibly be, victim of a crime. Because, as we both know, the murder rates in the city are extremely high. I want this city to be safe. I want it to be good for people to work. I want all of these things for a better San Andreas.
So, if you had to pick one, what would you say is the biggest issue that we face in the city, but also as a state?
As a state, I feel we are, crime. Crime would have to be my number one. I also share the idea that the taxes, the current economic state, are not exactly the best. They're not aligned with the interests of the people. I feel as if crime and taxes and the economic status coincide with each other.
So you're saying the high taxes are maybe incentivizing or causing the crime?
I don't know about, I would say that, yes. Because the everyday man, he goes to work. He works a 9 to 5. He makes a good amount of money. And then when tax time comes, the money is taken out. When he gets his paycheck on a hard Friday afternoon, he wants to go home, relax with his family. He has to worry about the finances. So what do? They resort to crime. They resort to selling drugs on the street, committing petty crimes. At gas stations, they rob the gas stations. People get hurt. It's not a good, it's just not a good, situation to be in. So yes, I would say they coincide with each other.
So, right now in the running is the current sitting governor, Heinbottom, and then you're in the running as well. But the election's still open. More people could potentially throw their hat to the ring for governor. So what sets you apart, not only from current candidates, but maybe future and potential candidates who might be looking at joining the competition?
I feel as if I'm a more familiar face to the people. I will not lie. I live somewhat of a secluded life besides my business. I own the real estate business that governs all of the entire state. I help people move into homes every single day. I try to get them the best deal I can. And what does our governor do? What does he really do? I hear about him all the time going on fancy private first class trips to Cayo Perico. Why? Why? You don't see his face every now and then. I heard he was in the city yesterday, but that was a rare occasion. So for me, what stands out about me? I relate more with the people of the city than he does. I feel as if I'm around a lot more than he does. Obviously, as I begin my political campaign, I'm showing my face more, I'm giving more interviews, so the public is starting to know more about me. But where is Heimbottom? Where is he? Has he done an interview? I don't think so. Has he gone and talked to the public? I don't think so. You only hear about him every now and then if he's going to, do an audit at the sheriff's department. You don't hear much about him. But as I said, I can relate more with the citizens of this city than he does. So, that's what I would say would separate me from him and anybody else who is looking to campaign.
So, as you mentioned, the current governor, he works with law enforcement. He does regular audits and check-ins with them. But what is your stance on kind of not just policing but public safety as a whole?
Now, as policing as a whole, I will give him credits in one area. He gave a lot of money to the sheriff's department to tackle gangs. But what has come from the gangs? Not much. You have these cartels, and you have all these gangs south side of the city. They're still causing mayhem. They cause more crime than any other person in this entire city. We need to focus our efforts on getting rid of these gangs, getting rid of these cartels. We need to be, punishing these people a lot more. Because I will say again, I mentioned earlier, our murder rates are entirely too high. Entirely too high. We need to fix that. That's what I want to focus with the police. We need to reform our justice system to punish these offenders a lot more harshly. And then I'll bring it even back to the people who are struggling because of the financial and economic situation that our entire state and our city encounters. They commit these smaller level crimes because they have nowhere else to turn. They need to make some money. So what? We punish them. We punish them more for this. I want to change that. I want to not punish these offenders to the extent that we do to the big time people who have massive records.
So, what are your plans to kind of stimulate the economy, to create jobs, to make things affordable, to get businesses in the area? What is your plan to do that?
I want to obviously create more jobs. I want to push for tax breaks and grants for local businesses. That I want to the heart of San Andreas is its business. It's local businesses. They are what creates the economy. We need to be more focused on them instead of these foreign imports and such things. We need to be more focused on our own people, on our own state. Why are we letting foreign imports flood our market when we have the talent and resources right here in the state of San Andreas? It's time for us to bet on ourselves. It's time for us to be the people that we need to be. We talk about the crime on the city. The San Andreas is drowning. It's drowning in all the crime that occurs. As I said, people are scared to go out and live their everyday life because they don't want to be a victim. They don't want to be a victim of crime. But I believe we are targeting the wrong people. We're targeting people who are easy arrests. People who are selling little amounts of drugs and such things. We're giving them harsh penalties. But we're allowing these bigger criminals in order to hit the streets again and cause more mayhem. That needs to change.
Homelessness has been kind of a rampant issue in the state. In fact, a recent survey, most police officers don't even own homes themselves. So what are you doing to improve the housing affordability and to encourage people to buy homes?
No one should have to sleep on the streets in a state such as, as prosperous as San Andreas, especially what it could be. Homelessness is a symptom of deeper problems. Lack of affordable housing, job opportunities, and let's say like access to critical institutions such as mental health centers, rehabilitation programs. And as I said before, I am a real estate. I do own the real estate business. And you bring up the police. I do offer police a very handsome discount. So there needs to be, higher wages. And you may ask me how do we get higher wages? How do we get, citizens into houses and off the streets? Obviously I don't want to full on ban foreign exports, or imports, I mean. I want to tax them a lot more heavily. I want to lower the taxes on businesses in the city, local businesses. If we tax the foreigners, and we use the money that we gain from other avenues, that's how we can achieve this. I could put more money into the citizens' pockets and less into their tax bills.
Most administrations are judged by the public and the media based on their first 100 days. Their first 100 days set kind of the precedent for what is expected to be for the rest of their term. So, looking at your first 100 days, assuming you were to get elected, what are your top 3 priorities for your first 100 days?
Crime, taxes, and the overall well-being of our citizens. Now, crime first. We need to start targeting these areas, these high areas of crime, and stop them at the root. We need to implement, as I've said before, we are targeting the wrong people. We need to go after the people who are causing the most crime in the city. So I want to initiate plans in order to catch the high-level criminals, these leaders of these gangs, the people who commit robberies, who, steal from those who are trying to make an honest living. We need to target these areas a lot more. And I'll even say this, those who commit murders, because our murder rate is out of control, they need to be held to a higher standard than we do to these low-level ones. We need to punish them a lot. Oh, Jesus Christ. See, I'll even say that people who use explosives in our city, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We need to punish these people a lot harder. We need to cut them out. As soon as we target them, we get rid of them, we get them off the streets. I promise you, San Andreas as a whole will be a lot safer. Then taxes. We need to, as I said, tax more on the foreign imports from Cayo, from other countries. We need to start being more focused on those, who live up north, who grow the crops, who, go all along to all of our cities, Los Santos, Palito Bay, even Roxwood. We need to focus more on them. And of course, I just want to create a better life for the people that are here. I know what they struggle with. I know what they struggle with. I was there once as well. I don't want them to turn to a life of crime and be in the system in order to make an honest living. It needs to be better. It all needs to be better. So in my first 100 days, I want to tackle those 3 things. I think crime has to be our number 1 priority. I really think it does. I want to, of course, I haven't had the chance to talk to the sheriff. I've seen him around a couple of times, but I haven't been able to sit down with him face to face and, talk about what the department needs and where we should be allocating our resources. But overall, my first 100 days, there will be change.
Now, in the current administration, there have been several controversial bills that have come out. including some restrictions and bans on certain types of firearms, heavy rifles, automatic rifles, some stricter gun licensing laws, gun registration laws. These are the most current ones, but that is not the only controversial bills that have come out. So that being said, how do you feel about those? Are you going to keep those? Or are you going to try and get rid of those? What is your stance on some of the bills that the current administration has put out?
Listen, of course, you bring up the guns. We have a right as, a people of America to bear arms. Okay, I would repeal that ban on all of those firearms because we have the right to own one. It doesn't matter. You make up any excuse you want. You can ban them all you want, but guess what? I promise you, you go and you look at arrest reports and you go into any police station around the state, you will find criminals who have these types of weapons. So why should we restrict them? Why should we restrict them to the people of the state? They need to protect themselves. They can use whatever they can use these guns that the current administration wants to ban.
I just want to clarify when you're talking about these types of guns. I just want to be specific. Are you talking about automatic weapons, or are you just talking about rifles in general?
I talk about rifles. You probably know better because you're in the news. You have a lot more knowledge of guns than I probably do.
Currently, fully automatic weapons are not allowed in the state, and semi-automatic weapons are permitted with a gun license. So, are you saying you're going to legalize automatic weapons for civilian use?
I want to legalize these weapons. Of course, I want to have restrictions. I want to save certain weapons for, the military. Machine guns. Machine guns and such things like that. I feel as if a citizen should be able to go out and buy an AR-15 or a carbine rifle of such sorts. I think those are, those should be the basic rights of citizens to use these guns. Because I bring it back again. I mean, it's my friend. It's all about crime. It's all about crime. These people, they own these weapons. They have these weapons. They get them off the street. They get them imported. We need to, if they are going to have them, our citizens need to have them. Now, of course, I do want some accountability somewhere. Obviously, if you're going to go out and buy these weapons, you cannot have a record. If you have any felony convictions on your record, I do not want you to own any types of weapons. Now, I say that as in a very violent circumstance. You armed robbery. No, you do not get a weapon. Not at all. But if you are a low-level offender who gets, reckless driving or something of sorts, and you get arrested for it, you should still be able to have a weapon. I say a lot. I get very, passionate about these subjects.
Absolutely, as do many voters. And currently, there is a gun registration law. This law requires all persons to register any firearms with the police department so that they can be logged in their database. Any weapons that are not registered are not legal. This is the law that has been looked at, and so I'm kind of curious on what your stance is on this gun registration law that is in.
I do believe that, like I said, we need to have some accountability. So I will give, props where they are due. I do believe that if you do own a firearm, there needs to be a database which it is entered. Okay, there needs to be a database where all of that is kept. If you own a firearm, it should be on the record. So I will say that, if I remain in office, that will stay the same. But of course, I want to give, relax these laws that have been put in place.
How will you and your administration work to keep what you're doing transparent to the public. What is your kind of public transparency ideology?
Well, of course, I want to, obviously everything needs to be above board. I want to, make sure that, whatever the government spends on it, it is, it's accounted for. I want our policy information and accountability to be just out there for the public to know. I want to be one of those governors that is, that talks to the people. I don't want to pass something that I know is going to negatively affect them. I want there to always be an open line of communication. Of course, I want to, obviously, our budgets to be public knowledge. Where are we spending our money? I welcome criticism. If, we are focusing too much on a certain area, just hypothetically speaking, we spend a lot of money on the sheriff's department, in terms of tackling crime on the south and eastern part of the city. But there's more crime happening in, Pulido, for example, or Sandy Shores. That's, the public can see that and say, look, we need to divert our funds this way. Because listen, they are the people who live here. I may have my office and such things at the top of the mountain, but they are the people who are living their everyday lives and are affected by the decisions I make. Now, of course, I want to host more, public meetings where the public is allowed to come and voice their concerns. I feel that is a vital part, a very vital part into how I want to run everything. I also want to, I've thought about this a great deal, especially with my administration. I want to pass the Citizen Oversight Act. I want to introduce legislation that creates citizen-led, oversight, committees, meetings, groups of people to monitor, areas, where we are diverting our attention, such as, law enforcement, the public, and also want to hear their ideas on taxes. The government, we work for the people. Like I feel that's where the administration currently lacks. They don't work for the people. And the people deserve, I hope they will obviously voice their and use their God-given right to vote in the upcoming election. They deserve to have a say in how the government operates. The act will give citizens a direct role in holding us accountable and telling us where we need to improve. So that's how I hope to tackle that issue.
Now, many people are kind of asking the question here: what are you doing right now as a candidate for governor, but also as a citizen of San Andreas? What are you doing right now to better the community and the state?
I'm a very big man on charity. Very big. My real estate business, it obviously brings in a good amount of money. And this area, the area that we are in, where Weazel News is located, it's in Little Seoul. This is my home. I'm from Del Perro, not just a couple blocks over. I grew up in these streets. And I'm giving back to the community everywhere I can. I donate my my funds from the real estate business. I give a percentage out to these charities and these community locals. I always want to ensure that they are taken care of and their needs are met. Because that's just the person I am. That's how I was raised by my mother and father.
Now, there is a strong sense of voters who are questioning why not just you, but any individual runs for a government position. But especially with governor, there's a lot of criticism that comes, are you running for personal reasons, or are you running for, your duty to serve the public? Why are you running?
I say both. I'm running for personal reasons and also for the people, but they coincide with each other. As I said before, I'm from an immigrant family. I grew up in the, a rough part of Del Perro is not what it used to is now. It's a lot different than it used to be. I know what it's like to be on the outside looking in terms of being somebody from the streets, looking in on all these people who live lavish lives. I came to the state as a young immigrant with nothing but hope and determination. I grew up in the rough streets of Del Perro. I saw families struggle to make ends meet. I saw businesses, closing down. People I know personally, they were worked very hard to keep it open. Restaurants, gas stations, local grocery stores. There was nobody fighting for us. There was nobody caring for us. Going out of their way to make sure that we were okay. I want to be that guy. I want to be the person who helps these people in rough times because, I know how it was. I knew how it was growing up. I want to fix, and then I go to the people. Again, I want to fix this broken system who is allowing these criminals to live their lives freely. Yeah, they'll go to prison for a while. Well, guess what? Guess what they do when they come out? They commit more crimes, and sometimes more severe than the last. Crime, just overall, crime is out of control. Taxes are crushing our citizens, and businesses are being driven straight into the dirt. Our government isn't broken; it's just working against the current people. And I hope to change that. I hope to change the whole philosophy of it all. I want to be the person that people can look up to and say, you know what, that guy has my back. So that's what I hope. That's my ambitions. That's why I am running for this position.
Now, if you weren't running for governor, if you weren't interested in the office, if you weren't a candidate, what would you be doing to contribute to the community in ways that you're not?
No, I think it's important. I'm a long person who voices their opinion. I'm not shy away from speaking my mind. I think you could tell from this interview. So I'd be out there doing what I still am doing. I'm being the voice. I want to talk. I want to say what is needed to be done. My family still lives in Del Perro. And yes, it's nicer now. Yes, it's a lot better. But the friends and other families that we grew up with, they're still struggling. So what I am doing now. I'm continuing that fight. I'm still talking. I'm still voicing my opinion. I'm being their voice. Because I use as the person I am now, as what I've grown up to be, the person who, controls a lot of the real estate in this city. I'm privileged to say the least. I have a higher standing than I used to. So my voice matters a little bit more. I get all types of clients. I get high-end clients all the time. And I tell them, I say, hey, look, these issues are a problem. We talk about it, man to man. Over like we are right now, over a coffee. So like you said, I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing now. Speaking my mind. Saying what needs to be said. I'm never afraid of doing so.
Now, before we leave the viewers, do you have anything that you want to say to those at home right now who maybe are still on the fence on who they're going to vote for?
Well, I'll say this. There's never a day that goes by in the city that you will not hear from me. I'm always going to be out there trying to fix the problems that we have. But I just want to thank them for the opportunity for them to, hear me out. Hear what I have to say. This campaign, it's not about me. It's about all of us. It's about building a San Andreas where every family, every worker, and every business can thrive. Together we can create safer streets, stronger communities, and a bright future. But I cannot do it alone. I can't do it without them. They are crucial. They are vital to this mission that I have. I need their voices. I need their support. And if you trust me, we can make this vision that I have a reality. It's time that we take back control of San Andreas, and we build a state we can all be proud of. I hope in the upcoming election I earn their vote, because I will fight every single day for a better San Andreas, for a better life for them.
All right. We thank you so much for taking the time for this interview, and we thank
you,
those at home for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions at all, we hope to do more of these interviews. So please send us any questions you have, and we can use those in our next interview with with candidate Marco Deconto. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.